Hey Carver team, it's Jen, and I'm going to walk us through the example um, unpacking template. And so you can see that I'm in the January 15th agenda because all of our helpful tools are linked in here. And we are going to be able to get at the example right here. Here's the example unpacked standard. So this is a pretend standard that we used in order to be able to put it into a book. So it is not an exact Arkansas standard. In fact, it's a blend between Arkansas, Virginia, and Texas. But it does the job in terms of helping us understand what to do with the standard. So in your grade level documents, every team has one. I've already pasted the actual standard into this part. So we don't have to do anything in this section except for we're going to underline the nouns and those noun phrases that help us know what students need to know. And then we're going to highlight those verbs that may also help us with the content on what we want students to be able to do. And so we know that they're going to have number models, and that you see that underlined, and we expanded on it. We know it's going to be numbers up to 1,200, and that we're going to have to do standard form, word form, expanded form, etc. And so you're going to be taking those nouns and kind of really articulating, this is the depth of the standard. These are the things that students need to know. On the flip side, what are they going to be doing with these numbers up to 1,200? So we know that they're going to use the concrete and pictorial models to compose and decompose numbers. We know that they're going to show more than one way to make a sum using thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones. And that they really truly need to represent these using all of those standard word and expanded form, that we're going to have to record those decomposed numbers in various ways. And so you see us articulating that specifically and just expanding upon the already given language of the standard. Under academic vocabulary, you can see that place value, those place value words, what we're doing with them, the standard form, we just write them as a number, the word form, we have to write out each and every word, and an expanded form where we're showing an addition sentence to talk about the number using place value. We know that we're going to have to add or show them as sums. We're including that word sum. And then we also thought that including the word place value and base 10 numerals, since that's a big concept here, that we would include those as vocabulary words as well. Now, what we're doing with the learning targets, we're taking these targets up here, what the kids need to be able to do, and we're just going to put student-friendly language in its place, because the teacher language is helpful for us in really articulating the full depth of the standard, but we want them to be able to talk about their learning. So we thought that these would be reasonable for second graders to say. I can use pictures and tools to represent numbers. I can show more than one way to represent a number. I can read and write numbers up to 1,200 using standard form and word form. So you can see the elements of those targets and even the vocabulary, but I'm using student-friendly language. And then finally, I can decompose numbers using expanded form and record decompositions in various ways. And so if that one's a little wordy, you can also break it down, like I can add using expanded form to show numbers in different ways. So again, we could adjust it if we felt like that wasn't really going to help students say it. Then you're going to go ahead and think about the level of proficiency, which I've included in your template, a website called ThemeSpark. And I can actually go to that website in just a moment and show us how it works. But the goal here is to be able to describe what an advanced student who goes beyond the standard, a student who is proficient, what does that look like? Defining what a partial understanding or close to proficiency looks like, and then minimal or far from proficient, what would that look like? Finally, we're going to want to include well, what does this look like? And so as you scroll in the actual, you'll see the visuals just a little bit better, but we are adding some tasks. What do kids actually have to do to show this proficiency? And so we're just putting a few examples there. The great thing about finding those exemplar tasks is that we typically use them as exit tickets then. So it's not just busy work. We're not just finding examples for the sake of it, but we're finding really good tasks that help us understand if our students are meeting the standard and then using them during instruction as an exit ticket to check for understanding, or we can use some of these exemplar tasks on an actual common formative assessment. So by finding them and adding to them over time, you can even build a bank of question types that really does help us understand what do students know how to do, what did they get to mastery on, and what do they still need support with. And so that's a brief description of how to complete the unpacking document. I'm again going to go to Themes Park really fast just to kind of show us. I did explain this with the leadership team, but it's a really easy tool to use. You can go to your dashboard. You just sign up with an email and you're good to go. We're doing math. I can pick any grade level that I'd like. And since we're thinking about addition and subtraction, I can even go ahead and find one. So solve addition and subtraction word problems and add and subtract with intent by using objects drawings to represent the problem. And when I do select a standard, all I have to do is click continue, and you can see that I'm ready to go with those sample descriptions. And each team that I've worked with, we just copy paste and put it in the 4-3-2-1. And then sometimes we just clarify and we might add a thought or two or change some of the wording slightly just to make sense of it as a team and to help each other feel like we really truly know what we mean when a student exceeds the standard or when they're proficient, partially understanding, or really having a hard time accessing the content. I hope this was helpful. I'm looking forward to seeing what you all have, but please, again, feel free to email me anytime. jendeinhart@gmail.com. I believe that I have it right here at the very top of our agenda. Looking forward to seeing you guys again in February. Thanks so much. Reach out if you need me.